So welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Today I've got a couple of projects to get done, and the first is getting ready for hog killing. Porky, as he is affectionately called, is going to be going into the freezer here in just a few days. And there's something that I've got to get done in order to make that happen. The weather is not good for hog killing. You want cold weather, and it is not cold. I'm in short sleeves out here this morning before 8 o'clock, and the wind's blowing. In March, we expect the wind to be blowing, but you don't expect it to be 75 plus degrees. So I'm going to show you guys a workaround on how to kill a hog in weather like this and keep your meat from spoiling and get it ready for butchering. So something I haven't shown in detail on the channel yet is this room addition that I've been building, seems like for the past 2 years, on the back of Lisa's shop. And the purpose of this, nice old door, took that out of Lisa's stash. The purpose of this room, it's only 7 by 8. I don't know if you can see in there or not. There we go. The purpose of this room is going to be a seed starting room, as well as we are going to lay out a hog in here in a couple of days. But what I got to do now is get me a nice big old cooler built. And y'all, every bit of this little building addition has been built out of lumber that came off of that sawmill that my daddy gave us. So sawmills are pretty doggone handy if you can get your hands on one. So y'all, I was going to use this old fuel oil drum, cut it down, and scald this hog in it this year. But because of the past several months and me really not being able to get all the projects done that I needed to, I'm just going to skin this hog when it comes time to it later this week. And I've got a cradle that I built, I believe it was 2 years ago now, right at 2 years ago, out of wood. A cradle that I start my skinning in, and then I hang him up with a tractor, and I'll do it that way. I'm going to lose my cracklings, which is what I was really looking forward to. But on the next one that we do, on down the road, we will go ahead and scald that hog and let you see that process. But for today, we're going to get a cooler built. Now, I'm going to be using foam board to make me a cooler. Guys, some of the old timers that killed hogs, they would kill a hog and they would process it all in the same day. And I've done that. I just don't really like it. I don't like the warm jello-y feeling of sticking my hands in there and trying to process meat that won't stay still. I know that sounds a little bit grotesque, but that's just the way it is. And if you're okay with that, fine. I like getting it nice and cold, just like they would in the butcher shop, and breaking it down that way. So I need a cooler that's 5 feet long, and we'll make it about a foot deep. It doesn't need to be deep at all, because you're gonna break that hog down into 2 halves. Lay him down in here. Gonna put some plastic on this, lay the hog down on that, both sides laid out like a butterfly. Plastic on top of that, and then ice. And that's going to keep your hog nice and chilled all night long, especially inside of that insulated building. I don't care if it's 70 degrees out here at night. It's going to stay cold, it's going to firm up, it's going to be easy to work. So let's get on to building this little thing. So I'm not entirely confident that once that hog is split down the middle and laid out, that he'll be able to lay out 4 feet wide. I think he's probably going to need a little bit more room. So we'll cut another piece of this foam board and make this thing 5 feet wide so that when he lays out, there's plenty of room to do so. So that's going to be the base of this cooler. Now I'll get the sides cut, and we'll basically just tape this thing up, and we'll have a nice little spot to keep this little piggy nice and chilly overnight. So there you go, y'all. It ain't nothing fancy, and it don't have to be. But this is big enough to put this 225-pound pig inside of once he's been dressed and split in half. He'll get laid down on the inside, be plastic underneath. He'll get laid down, there'll be plastic on top of him. There'll be a layer of ice on the bottom, plastic, pig, plastic, ice, and it's going to allow this hog to chill down overnight so that he is easier to process the next day. Now, if you're using this method outside, and I have done it outside before, you're going to want to cut you a piece to go on top as well as a piece of plywood. Matter of fact, the way I did it when I did it outside the last time was I actually built a frame out of wood, and I did all this on the inside because you don't want any raccoons or possums or anything trying to get at you meat that you've worked so hard to grow out. But for inside of this building, this will be good. I won't even need a lid on it because the entire building is insulated as well. So that's going to work for this. It'll be covered up in plastic and ice, and it's going to work really well. Won't be no rodents getting into it, no bugs, nothing like that. And when it comes time to process him the next morning, he'll be nice and firm all the way through. And that makes it a whole lot easier doing meat cutting. And the only thing left to do on this is to tape up the corners a little bit. Now this front piece of foam, I won't secure that yet. I'll wait and get the hog in there, get everything situated the way I want it, and then I'll tape that up. But for now, that's the way it's going to be. Y'all, this makes it so much easier processing hogs. I've seen a lot of people process hogs on YouTube. Some of them do the whole process themselves. Some of them send it out to a butcher. However you want to do it, that's fine, y'all. If you don't feel comfortable processing your entire pig, there's people that'll do it for you for a fee. But if you really want to be self-sufficient, learn how to do these skills so that you can raise that animal, slaughter that animal, and process that animal out into individual cuts, sausage, bacon, everything. And I'm going to show you to the best of my ability how I process a hog. I'm not going to show you killing the hog, skinning the hog. There's videos out there if you want to watch that. You can find that readily available. I just don't feel comfortable showing that. Don't want to. But I will show you how to break that hog down completely and get it in the freezer and ready for your supper table or breakfast table. All right, there's some storms rolling in. We're going to try to get these hogs fed. It's time for their morning feeding. And then I'm going to try to get on to building a new little chicken brooder. In the corner of my building over here, I got to move a bunch of mess out of the way. But I'm going to try to get on that before this rain hits. Get as much done as I can while I can, y'all. Before we go down to the hogs, I want you to see all these broccoli that Lisa planted the other day after we got that bed put in. Good looking broccoli. She's also got a whole bed of collards right here. She's got a half a bed of kohlrabi that she started, and the other half we planted seed. That way we have kohlrabi at different times as they're coming on. And over here at this other bed, strawberries. Thanks to my daddy. He had a whole bunch of strawberries he wanted moved, and so we went and got enough to do an entire bed with them. So guys, we're excited about that this year, having some fresh strawberries. You can hear them start squealing as soon as we start getting down here.
What have you been doing?
I like that new gate. If you can get it open. There you go.
What are you doing?
Almost. He beat you. Come here. Come here. Come here. There you go. All right. All right, where's the other pan? Right here. I'd say Porky is killing size. He's ready to go. He's almost 6 months old. About a week from it. And I'd say before I hang him up and get a weight, he's probably going to be about 225. And that's a good size for handling on a homestead. All right, guys, eat it up. Dixie is looking so good. Should be coming into heat for her first time here pretty soon. She look good?
Yeah, she's good.
Old Samson, he's a growing. Getting tall.
He is tall. He's already catching up to
He's about as tall as Daisy now.
Dixie.
I mean Dixie. Got too many names. So we walked down here to our in-ground garden spot. I came down here the other day and tilled up one little patch over here on the side. We've got a bunch of seed potatoes, Yukon Golds, that we're going to plant in a raised bed. And if we have some left over, we'll try to run a row down here in the in-ground garden as well, because I can keep those healed up. I'd like to see how they do down here in this bottom soil compared to the beds, which the beds do great. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for us today here at the Piney Woods Homestead. Shows you how to get that little simple cooler knocked together to keep your hog nice and chilled overnight before you're ready to butcher it the next day after you've killed it. And I'm gonna get up here and work on a chicken brooder, because we have used so many different kinds of brooders over the years. I used my shop table last year and just built a big brooder around it because we had 100 chicks in it at the time. But this year I just want something a little bit smaller because we're going to be brooding a lot of chicks off of our Delaware rooster and Sussex hen, and we'll be raising those in a separate chicken tractor than our, what do you call those birds we raise? Rangers.
Rangers, yeah.
We love those Rangers, especially fried.
You like everything fried.
I like everything fried. I'm from the South. We like stuff fried. Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Subscribe if you hadn't. Hit the old like for us. That'd help us out a lot. And guys, have a good day, a great week. We'll see you on the next video.